Okay, so we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to mind training and productivity. Today, I'm going to cover some of the basic methods for you to train your mind, focus your attention, and become productive. And we're going to go over the first three steps in my Ultimate Students course that's going to help you to actually create that habit. And why do I say habit? Because just like Will Durant, he said, as you can see here in the text underneath my head here, we are what we repeatedly do, right? So success then is not an act, but a habit. It's what you do on a consistent daily basis that's going to deliver your results, deliver your daily experience, and bring you where you want to go. So therefore, it's not a single act, not one single act is going to bring you the results, the productivity, the ideas that you want to see come alive ever. So it's important that you are developing habits that are productive for you. So, with that in mind, let's just jump right into it. I'm going to share my screen here with you. I'm going to go to the side. There we go. This, what you look at here, is the Ultimate Students Mastermind course. And it's a 9-step course. Let's just zoom in and look a little bit about what that is. First, let me show you what the course is about. So what we want to do, as you see over here in the left side, we want to end procrastination. We want to end laziness. There we go. And that unconscious insecurity that have you second guessing, right? So you probably know already, if you are struggling with being productive, what actually causes you to stop that. But those are the main three reasons, right? It's procrastination, it's laziness, and unconscious insecurity that stops us from doing what it is we really want to do more of. And it has us second guessing, right? Insecurity has us second guessing. Before I'm going to start this video here, do I really know exactly how it's going to look like, how everything is going to flow? No, I don't. But I practice it, I get better at it, I improve over time. And please leave in your comments below, how you like the video here, so I can take that feedback and improve what it is that I do on a daily basis being productive. Okay, so, but this is what I'm going to help you with here during our little session together, during this live session. So you can stop this overthinking and doubting your ability to create what you want. Because if there's one thing I've learned in my life is I can create exactly what it is that I want. And I can also fuck it up. So what I want you to do with this, there are 9 steps here, as you can see. I'm going to practice to zoom in. There we go. And let's just have the first step over here. So I'm going to walk you through these steps here, how they help you to train your mind, and how it helps you to become productive and create more of what you want. And what you see here is, this is where we want to go away from. So if you can see any of these symptoms, as I call it, for a mind working against you, if you can see any of those in yourself, like overthinking or being distracted, unorganized or behind, overwhelmed, unclear of purpose, frustrated, fearful, and there are many others. If you can recognize, hey, I actually have some of those, then stay with me here, because we're going to walk through how you can deal with that and develop some methods that's going to help you to overcome that and build a habit, so you finally one day don't have that anymore, right? You want to go into up here, right? You see, we're going to go into a balanced state of mind, being ahead, knowing, right, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, being organized and achieving. We want to be joyful and secure, focused and clear. So if that's something that's interesting for you, stay with me here. I'm going to walk through these first 3 steps as you look at the red theme here. The mental health part, right? The mental health part is all about focusing your mind first. We want to learn how to relax our minds. We want to learn how to become responsible to our environment, to what it is we want to create more of here. And we want to have a mindset that's free, so we can work with it. Secondly, we want to learn how to tune into our intention, tune into that desire we want to create and define it, connect with it. And finally, in step 3 here, we learn how to become our desires, be it, reflect it, and how to start with it all. Okay, so as you see here, I think it's time now for you to become a master of your mind, right? Better sooner than later. And it's just 9 steps to see you on the other side. So join me here and look with as I walk through these 3 steps here. So over here on my left, I have some slides. And first, let's just jump straight into the mental health part. Again, here's the 9 steps. And every single step, as you see here, here, and here, with mental health, intention, and hyperfocus, each step teaches us, for example, how to find peace and rest within, right? That's important so you can access your creative powers. Second step teaches you methods how to set clear intentions and use your creative powers with clarity and ease, right? Third step, hyperfocus. It teaches you how to be the change you want to see and energize your entire body-mind system with that new intention we set in second part here. So let's jump into that. Let's see how that helps us. First here, so this is step number 1, right? And I want to show you some of the mental health struggles that stops people from having a focused mind. So why most master procrastinators, and I call them master procrastinators because anything you do on a daily basis, you are mastering, okay? Because you're achieving it. Master procrastinators fail to achieve a productive day, right? First thing, they're overthinking, okay? Simply overthinking, what is the best way to do stuff? I want to know the best way to do stuff before I get started, before whatever it is. And they start, and there's no best way. Okay, it's the wrong way of looking at things. There's no best way, but there's a million ways to achieve what it is you want. But this way of thinking creates what is called overthinking and also something called perfectionism. So a master procrastinator knows exactly how they try to find the best way to do this or that. And by always looking for the best way, they really never get started. Because we don't know the best way, we just know many ways. So what happens is master procrastinators, they jump to one method, then the next and the next, instead of getting the job done. Okay? That's the first thing of the mental health struggles for procrastinators. The next thing is the insecurity, imposter syndrome. I suffered from this a lot. I wanted to absolutely master everything that I ever did before sharing it with anyone. And I've discovered that people didn't like it. I didn't do that much. And rather delivering content, I would only put out content every single month, maybe every third month. So the imposter syndrome is real. We believe we're not capable of doing what we have in mind. And that's something that blocks us from actually being productive. So as it says here, master procrastinator often falls short in the progress because of past failures, right? We're trying to be perfect. We're always trying to achieve exactly the image that we had in mind, and that delays our efforts. Also because when we see only our mistakes and trying to improve, that doesn't feel good. And when we're in a state of mind that doesn't feel so good, we're not really being productive. Last part here is the perfectionists, but not in commitment. So master procrastinators, they're perfectionists. They want to do it absolutely, precisely, exactly as it's supposed to. And that stops us because instead of being committed to the task, we get that great idea, but we expect ourselves to be perfect in execution right away. And if we're not, we stop the practice, we stop the commitment, and get stuck. Okay. So how do we go from that state of being into a new state? Well, you got to relax your focus and free up energy. And this is what step number 1 does. So how to go from overthinking, insecurity, and perfectionism to a clear mind, feeling curious and focused. How do we do that? So from this, mask that we wear to try to be someone that we really authentically not are, into being the guy, as you see over here, on top of the world, enjoying sunset or maybe sunrise on top of the mountain. So, and the mental health actions that helps you to achieve that new state of mind is, first off, meditation. Okay, learning to let go and observe. This is how we learn to let go and observe, because this is how we can start training the mind. First, we need to see what's going on in the mind and what needs change and what actually doesn't need change. There might be many things that's already working for you. You got to work with forgiveness. So maybe you have an image of yourself or those you work with that is based upon the past. And so therefore you repeatedly communicate with them in a way, or yourself in a way, that obstructs those new possibilities, that new behavior that you're looking for. So release that energy and focus on recreating the past. No, sorry, that's wrong. And stop recreating. There we go. Let's just correct that. So, and stop recreating the past. So we need to release energy and stop recreating the past. Okay. And finally, the first thing is affirmations. That's now empowerment, now wizardry, and now focus. Continue to say to yourself who it is you want to be, how you want to be, and what it is you're working with, focusing the mind in. So those are the three main actions that we want to take in step number 1, right? So if you were to take the course and you're ready to get more productive, the first thing is we learn how to end that overthinking state of mind. And so what you see here in this slide is actually just a step-by-step method. And that's mind training, okay? Mind training is step-by-step methods that's going to deliver a certain result. So first, the goals are the ability to find rest in awareness. Method for that. And that's a conscious state of non-doing and non-judgmental observation. And here's actually how we do that. Do this, position the body into a sitting position, erect spine. This actually helps to focus attention, which is needed. And then we focus our attention on the breath. Just a relaxed, focus on the breath. This clears the mind. It balances your energy, balances your focus. Okay. So the next thing we want to do for the mental health part is, how do you free your mind from past judgments and fears? And so the goal is to free up your creative force from the past, conditioning, and judgment. And maybe to clearly understand this is the mental health model. This is the things that I want you to work through to start modeling your mind, training your mind into working for you. And I created this model over here so you might better understand that. Let's just zoom in here. Go over here. So what you see here is actually how your mind is working. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So this is the mental health map. And most people, they are living either in an overthinking or fight-flight state, as you see over here on the right side, or they're living in a fearful experience, actually expecting bad things to happen in the future, which is definitely not productive. And that's kind of a victimhood identity that one has adopted. So to get out of these states, we have solutions. One is meditation on the breath. The other one is practicing forgiveness. That is releasing old energies, releasing past judgment upon ourselves and others. And you can see here on this map that when we practice meditation, for example, we get into a state of rest. And you see also there's a little silhouette of a face here. Practice observing meditation that happens actually through the nose here, the nose tip, focusing all our attention here on a daily basis for a certain amount of time. That will train your mind with a skill, okay, to relax and calm down. That's the breath here through the nose. That will give you rest. Now, with the creative force, well, that's the reptilian brain that needs to be reconditioned, right? We need to work with it and take conscious control over our reptilian brain so we have access to that creative force and use it to bring life to our ideas. Consciousness, energy, frequency is ideas come to life. So that's what we do here in step number 1. Okay, so what we see here, let me just zoom out again. So what you see here is the 9 steps. We're working with step number 1, the mental health. And the first part is how to find rest within and access your creative powers. That's the first part, because if you cannot focus your mind and find rest, well, then the world will just take you will take your attention. Okay, if you can't focus and be at rest, you will constantly be searching for something either entertaining, because that feels better than unrest, or you will look for something that stimulates a good feeling, maybe the next coat or the next shoe or the next product that will, that's a nice feeling. Or maybe Facebook has got your attention and see what everybody else is doing. So first we got to learn to focus our attention in. So imagine or picture how it would be if you could actually have a completely calm and tranquil mind with just one single breath, like this. Now, if you did that with me here, you might not feel the same relaxation and calmness and tranquility that I felt. But it's that practice, a habit of learning to focus the mind and relax the mind through meditation practices, breathing practices. And then with time, you can do it with just one single breath. You can change your entire chemistry in the body-mind with just one breath. Now imagine that you can release any stuck energy from the past. Maybe you have had arguments, being angry with people. Maybe you have been mistreated. Maybe there was a lot of failures in what you did. There could be many things. If you keep on complaining and having grievances and regrets over all these, maybe fear even of these past events, which has nothing to do with right now, then you're putting a lot of energy back into that. And that's really not productive for you. So imagine that you could actually free up, release all that energy from the past of fears, regrets, with just a 10-minute session, right? Years of experiences, been misjudged, basically, and you can release that with just a 10-minute session. Imagine that. Imagine to see your spouse, your friends with a completely new mindset, completely new eyes, seeing the life in them, the joy in them, and what you actually want to do more with them, and faith that that can happen. Imagine that. And finally, the third part here, imagine that you can feel joyful and at peace with a simple affirmation. Like that. Just imagine that. If you find that interesting, maybe these exercises would be something for you. Okay? We learn how to end overthinking. We learn how to free your mind from past judgments and fears. And finally, we learn how to apply the force of creation freely. And that's with affirmations. Okay, so step 1, That's a decision time, right? Before any commit, before any results, you have to step back and decide for yourself what it is you want to achieve. And Nikola Tesla, I want to bring him up a little bit. Let's look here. One thing that I was inspired by when I started my mind training was Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla, he said this: "Before I don't rush into work, I don't rush into actual hard work. What I do is, and don't quote me on this is not exactly the way it's quoted, but the meaning is the same. What he did is he would sit back and then he would go into a state of mind that is very calm, very clear, and he would imagine and visualize his creations so precisely. Now, he did mechanical creations, but he would visualize them so precisely and create them so he could actually operate that entire machinery and test it until it would work. And he would do that in his mind first until he finally saw it absolutely clear, full of detail, before drawing a single line or writing a single sentence about that creation. Now, that's quite interesting because what I see mainly today is the opposite approach. People, they rush into work. I got to have that. I got to get that, or I should do that, or they jump on the Facebook, or media catches your attention, and you're just, you're letting your attention being drawn around, and that actually takes away your creativity and your power of focusing the mind. And it takes your productivity to very low levels, what is possible if you actually focus your mind. So, Nikola Tesla, very good teacher, very good inventions also. Let's jump back to the slides here. So, decision time. It's always decision time. Right now is a decision time. But if you actually want a more focused mind, here are 3 things that are elementary for you to actually start training your mind to work for you. That's meditation here. It helps to conquer the mind, right? Sit back, observe, let go. We have very interesting meditation methods, right? But you can find plenty of guides online also if you like to study on your own. There's forgiveness. Forgiveness needs to be practiced, needs to be learned because it releases energy. And affirmations. That helps to access your force of creation. So let's say you affirm with yourself, I'm in love with my life. Now, what happens there is a sense of the loving energy, whatever I associate love with, whatever energy frequency I associate love with, starts to flow through my body mind. Okay? Or I am successful, which helps me start to have access to thoughts, images, scenarios where my success flows effortlessly. Those are affirmations. Okay. Let's jump on to step number 2 here, because when we have learned to free up our energy, can be relaxed in mind and body, now we need to make use of all this creative force that we have within us. All your cells in the body are alive and they generate life. That's what they're programmed to do. Now we need to program our mind to move the body, move our actions, move our behavior in direction of what we want more of, and build those habits. So that requires what we call an intention. So step number 2 here is set clear intentions so we can manifest them. So what we do there is, imagine yourself setting an intention that actually comes true. Just take 1 minute right now. Have a long deep breath. Why? Relax the mind. Forget the past, just for a moment here. And imagine that you can just set an intention for yourself that will start to manifest as long as you commit to it. Now, what would that be? Just hold that in mind for yourself to see it happen. Okay. So I set an intention for tonight. I had some ideas for what's going to happen there. I'm very happy with that. So, but your intention could be anything. It could be that you would become a millionaire and you would start doing all the things you love to do on a daily basis. Whatever skill set that is requiring will then start to be downloaded and come to you. Okay, but imagine you can do that on a daily basis. Waking up tomorrow, set an intention that you want to achieve that day, and that will actually start manifesting because you know the method, right? Oh, I want to go, yeah, I want to go get 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Just a second, because I want to show how methods actually work with the mind as well. Just a second here. I would never be able to foresee that in a live session. Okay, so right now I have a Rubik's Cube here. You see that? And right now it's actually made, okay? All the sides are organized, right? You see that? Okay. So usually with mental health struggles and such, this is the mind of someone who has mental health issues. Mental health issues can be many things. It's simply just paying attention to things you don't want, or not dealing with this situation right now in a way that benefits you. Okay. So that's a very scrambled mind you look here, right? Okay. So in order for making this Rubik cube, there are certain algorithms in, if I move this Rubik cube in a certain way, right? First, I'm going to make this white here. So I've taught myself how to make that white. I'm going to move this one here. Then I'm going to move, let's see, this one up here, there. Let's just, first we make a white cross, okay? So bear with me here. I'm just going to make it. The point will come. Patience is key. White up there. Here, go over. You see, I'm starting to build that white cross here. And let's see, where's the last part? It's right there. Okay, so now I have a white cross. Well, maybe that's a little bit hard to see. Very light colors. But I have a white, that was amazing. Okay, white cross there. Now I got to make the rest of the entire tile white. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So why do I want to show this to all of you? What is that relevant to being productive and mind training? Well, I have learned certain ways of moving this Rubik's Cube here that will produce the same result every time. Right now I have a white, and you can see it's green. If you look at the lower bottom here, orange, blue, and red. Okay. And this will happen every single time if I move it the same way. Now I need to build the second layer up here, make that the same color. Okay, so I've learned algorithms that when I do those, I will always produce the same result. Always. They never fail, always the same result. I'm organizing this Rubik's Cube. So what has that to do with mind training? Well, let's just solve it here first. Because basically what we do with mind training is we are organizing our mind so our mind is focused and in alignment with whatever it is we want to create. Now imagine that an idea would be, for example, this orange color here, right? We want everything to be orange. That's the idea. But some of it is not orange, you can see up here, right? Now we need to focus our mind in that direction. And we need to do some methods, some things that will make this orange. So learning those methods and doing them on a daily basis, that's the habit that will create the success. Okay, so mind training, the methods we learn, they're similar to actually the methods you learn with a Rubik's Cube. When you do them, they will always deliver the same results. And I don't know about you, but I had really a lot of difficulties of solving a Rubik's Cube the first time. It was difficult for me. I didn't understand how to move them, and I always fucked it up. But someone actually found out how it works. So I was learning from them, right? Let's just, there we go. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So what you can see now, actually I've made 2 lines. Now I just have to do the last line. And the way you do that is you got to create the yellow top first. So I'm going to do that. And there are certain methods to do that. And if you want to learn to do that, just leave it in the comments below. I have a 1 page that will explain everything for you. I'll walk it through for you. Okay, so now that is all yellow, and we still have 2 layers made. So now we need to make the top layer here. And let's just see, I'm putting the red here, and then there's a method. Because you can see here, that one needs to be blue, and the blue is over here, and how to move them around, I know a method for it. Like that, like that. So is this the fastest method? Not at all. There are many people who can do it faster. But this method works all the time, and it's a very simple method. Easy to remember, and I can repeatedly do it. You see? Now the Rubik's Cube is solved. This is like my mind. Okay, when it's scrambled, I need to do certain methods that I taught myself, which I'm teaching you inside the course, that will help you to organize your mind so it will work for you. So everything will become clear. If you want to see more green, let's say these colors are like feelings. If you want to feel more happy in your life, I know how to organize your mind so you start to feel more happy. Let's say you want to earn more money in your life. That's this yellow color, right? Okay, but then I know methods that will align your mind and your behavior so you'll start earning more money in your life. It's very simple because the mind is the most creative tool we have access to as human beings. Okay, 33 minutes in. Let's see. We're going to finish at least step number 2, shortly touch step number 3. So stay along for this longer walkthrough. I'm going to share my screen here again with you. So the intention, right? Imagine yourself setting an intention that actually comes true. And this is how you do it. This is the method that will teach you how to set that intention. Okay. So first step, the goal, clear goal, always a clear goal, is to learn the art of imagineering. That's what I call it, using the creative force consciously. I've discovered whatever we imagine, we start to generate in one way or another. It might be that we just feel a little bit different at first, right? It says up here, intention, feel it, right? That's the first thing that happens when we imagine something. Our state of being, the feeling, the energy changes a little bit. And we want to do that consciously. So I made a little map here, right? So what happens when we actually use our imagination? So just like one page for solving the Rubik's Cube, there's a one page to understand, because when we understand something, we can do it consciously. And I don't understand yet exactly how to move around this one here. So what you see here is the step number 2, how to set an intention. And down here is what you imagine. This is what happens. This is the soil for creation. This is your I am potential. You imagine something, right? Or dream about something. And then you see the arrows here goes up into the cloud of a vision. Okay. You start to generate imagination. You start to have clarity. You start to have or access that inner wisdom that knows how to create what it is you imagined. Because where do you think it comes from in the first place? It comes from you. You are the creator. Then you'll access what we call the frequency blueprint. Frequency blueprint, you start to vibrate. It has a certain vibration to it when you imagine it. Something, maybe it feels exciting or blissful or peaceful or joyful or maybe angry, if it's anger you want to generate. Not that I recommend it, but you're welcome to do so. Now, feeling that frequency or blueprint, what happens is when you feel it and you allow that feeling to jump into your body and you respond with it, you play with it, and maybe you sit a little bit different. Maybe you talk a little bit slower or look different at things. That is the way we tell the universe we have chosen an idea. Okay? That is to say, this is the potential I want to experience more of, that frequency, that domain of experiencing my life. You start to change your brain neurons. Maybe you haven't heard about this before, but when we imagine ourselves doing something physically, it has been measured that in the brain, we are actually starting to create new synapses, new neurons, new connections in order to do that movement that we imagine. So this is how we plant a vision, okay? And here it says here, focus times time times repetition equals deep roots. Just like what Will Durant, he says. We are what we repeatedly do. Success then is not an act, but a habit. We want to make it a habit. We have to do it and repeat it over and over again. Not going to dive too much deep into this. This will happen inside the course, not relevant for today. I just want to share with you how mind training and productivity actually works together. So what we learn in step number 2 is to focus our mind on a certain intention, what we want to produce, what we want to be productive about. Okay. So why are not everybody just doing this, right? Seems so simple. Well, the most problem, or the biggest problem that procrastinators have, and procrastinators are everyone, including myself, who are not being productive with our time. If we think we should do something and we're not really doing it, we're not being productive. And I'm not saying you should do something all the time. It can be very productive to relax. Not scrolling Facebook, not watching entertainment, but actually relax. Okay. Well, the first problem is, or the struggle is, coming from a place of lack. Most people I talk to, maybe you and as well, is I tell you, hey, do you want to become a millionaire? And you imagine yourself being a millionaire. And you're like, wow, I would love to be a millionaire because I can do all these things. And well, so great. And then the lack comes in. Oh, but I don't have it. And I'm going to be like, what do you mean you don't have it? Well, when I look around, and these eyes had nothing to do with your imagination, right? These eyes only see what we had imagined in the past. So when you look with these eyes, you're like, I don't have it. I could ask you right now, when you're looking at this screen, can you see your girlfriend? Can you see any of your friends? Can you see your money in your bank account? No. So are they really there? What happens is people come from a place of lack. So they don't realize that what we can imagine, we can create. Probably heard it before. Whatever you put your mind into, you can accomplish, right? But that's not the state of being most people come from. They look at their bank accounts. They say, that's only what I can do. Okay. So they need more, right? Oh, but when I have this, then I can do that. Oh, when I finally have this, then I can do that. But I'm letting you know, and what you learn inside the course is imagination, willpower, focus is all you need to create what it is you put yourself and your mind into. The next problem is setting unclear intentions. Let's say I want to get healthy. Okay, that sounds great. But what do you really mean about healthy? Is it because you want to be able to run 10 kilometers? Is it because you want to feel good? You see, the more precise, the more clear intentions you can set, imagine it through, just like Nikola Tesla said, the more exact you can do that, then you can more easily take action and then you can better take appropriate action, become in alignment, frequency, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So this is one of the problems, setting unclear intentions. For example, oh, I just need to get ahead. That's a very unclear intention. What do you mean being ahead? And why do you see yourself not being ahead yet? What are you behind with? That's an unclear intention. So, what we learn is we need to have clarity of the intention and what the intention is, and then downloading that internal roadmap. Okay. I tried this myself. I set unclear intentions of what kind of homepage I wanted to create, what kind of course I wanted to create. And I was constantly dragged around by almost like the solution that I wanted, almost like that what I wanted. And it never really became clear because internally, inside, I was unclear. Finally, fear-based intentions. Oh, if I don't do this, then that will happen. Or if I don't do this, then oh, that will happen. They're very fear-based intentions. And usually that would just maintain that fear, that living state of, oh, I'm really not safe. I can't relax. It can also be what master procrastinators often have a fear of is feeling uncomfortable, right? Oh, I have to take cold showers in order to feel really energized and happy. Oh, but that's uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. And we expect it to be hard. I mean, taking a cold shower is really not that hard. It's just taking the body, step it in, and then you feel the uncomfortable cold for about 10 seconds. That's it. 10 seconds. Okay. Well, those are some of the struggles that we have setting clear intentions. So how to go from reactivity to lack, right? Oh, I don't have enough money. I should earn more. That's a reaction. How do we go from feeling behind and fear of loss, right? Oh, this is not done yet. I have to get it done. Or, oh, if I do this, but then I will lose that. How do we go from this kind of way of thinking into setting clear intentions and manifesting effortlessly? Well, here are the main intention actions that I want you to do, the homework that I want you to do. And that's embrace your desires first off. Learn to really sit, write your desires down, embrace them. Come from a place where you're like, I can have that. Actually, I already have that because I just imagined it. I want you to learn to connect and feel how it is to have these things. Why would you ever do it? Find your clear reasons why. And then clearly define your intentions. Be exact. If you want to create a microphone, or maybe you want to, I was just drinking coconut water, right? But look at this one they created here, how to have it, what to have it in, how to commercialize it, how to bring it to life. Clear intentions, define them, be specific. That's important if you want to have productivity inside your life and make that a habit. Yeah. So again, it's decision time, right? Every step that we teach inside the course, every single day, you have to make a decision. Are you going to do this? Is this what you want or not? And as you make that commitment, you'll see your life will flow differently. Okay. So we have 9 steps in the course. You will practice to make decisions to commit yourself over and over again. Because, let's repeat, success is not an act, but a habit. We are what we do repeatedly. Okay, so the homework: use your imagination. Imagination or imagineering is key to any desired experience. Connecting emotionally and energetically to your intention, that's needed to fuel your car. Okay, if you want to go somewhere, you need some fuel for it. You need to actually put enough gas on so you can go where you want to go. That's what we do when we feel the energy change, when we imagine having something. And we got to define it in detail, right? You got to know, if you take your car somewhere, you got to know exactly what town you're going to. Otherwise, you're not gonna go there. Be specific, define in detail. Okay, hyperfocus. So Let's look into the third step here. I'm going to keep it within an hour, so bear with me. And if you're here till the end and you've been watching so far, high five to you. You are ready to actually make a change in your life and use your mind consciously. So congrats, high five to you. If it's this course or not, doesn't really matter. I'm just here to provide methods and roadmaps to get your mind working for you. Okay. Third step of get focused. Hyperfocus. How to be one with your intentions with all of your being. Now, what does that mean? Let's jump into it. Let's look. Hyperfocus being. So imagine or picture if you could have a simple method or a direct practice to go from what you imagine into manifestation. So imagine you're living in Hawaii, earning your money online, or whatever it is you imagine, and you can go from that into manifestation directly. And what do I mean by directly? Let's look into it. But that's not all of it. Imagine that every time you practice this method, you become better at it. More effortless, more productive, more efficient. So just like with any practice, you need to start where you are right now with whatever skills level and understanding and struggles you have. And then with your practice, the method that's being taught here, you will start to see less time being spent from going from imagination to manifestation, imagination to manifestation. And you'll learn the way around handling your fears, handling the struggles that will come along. So let's look into it. So this is the step-by-step how to actually accomplish what we just set ourselves up to, how to go directly into your new creation and manifest it effortlessly. Without a doubt, no struggle, and no waiting until circumstances are right. Now let's look into what that really means. But the goals are to hyperfocus the mind into a new state of being, because that's how we actually create a new experience and access new choices. Okay. These are the steps. You're welcome to take a screenshot. And if you want a copy of this PDF file here, just let me know in the link below. I'll contact you or send me an email to amindforyou@gmail.com, and I will give it to you. First, let's look into some of the struggles. What are the hyperfocus struggles that most procrastinators have? Why most procrastinators fail to achieve the new level of being? So, hyperfocus is all about accessing a new state of being. Why? Because imagine right now that you close down here or that you go on Facebook afterwards and you're feeling down, you're feeling tired, and you're feeling a little bit grumpy. How do you think you respond to all the comments, all the pictures, all the things that you see on Facebook? Do you think that's interesting, I'm going to do that, or that's nice, I want to do that? Or will it be like this, oh, okay, not that again, hey, and maybe negative comments? Huh? Or let's say you walk outside and you meet people along the way. Do you think you're positively, productively engaging with the world so that it will bring more of what you want when you're grumpy, when you're tired? Really? You need to learn how to change your mind or use your mind to change your frequency, to transform the way you respond, to transform the way you interact with everything right now. And that's what hyperfocus is for. The most struggle that people have for hyperfocusing to change their state of being is taking cue for how to feel from circumstances. Now, what do I mean by that? Imagine or look into the past where you've set yourself a goal or I'm going to go exercising today, right? You wake up in the morning and I want to exercise. Okay, great. But then you look out and the weather is bad. And then instead of feeling great, feeling in that spirit of exercising and healthy energy, you take your cue from circumstance. Okay, but it's raining now. And you allow the energy to flow out of your body. right? Or another example is, let's say that you want to make a relationship, right? There's a girl that you love or a type of relationship that you want, and you want to meet the right girl or meet the right guy. And then the first girl you meet, guy, they say no. No thanks, I don't want to be with you, right? And instead of being completely inspired with your intention and know that's going to manifest, that, just because the first place was not it, the second will come. It takes time to mature, it takes time to grow its fruits. Then you take your cue from circumstances and you go like, oh, okay, nobody wants me. I will never have a perfect relationship, right? So that's taking your cue from circumstances. You make yourself feel bad or similar because something happened which was not seemingly what you wanted. The second part is that we unconsciously seeing ourselves, master procrastinators unconsciously seeing themselves in a way they don't want. Let's say you want to build a house, but then you look into the past and you see, oh, but I've never learned to lay a brick. I've never done this. I've never been able to. And so you create this negative image of yourself and you make even conclusions that's the way it's going to be forever. That's very unconscious because first of all, it's not productive. It's not going to give you that house. Um, or it can simply be seeing what needs to be done, right? Let's say you got to exercise or you got to train something to become better at it. And then you'll unconsciously imagine the hard work of doing it. Oh, it's going to be hard. Or it's going to be draining. I'll not have time for this. I'll lose these things. So that's very unconscious and that's a struggle and that takes you out of hyper focus. Because you could easily just imagine yourself having more energy, having the energy that you need um, and fuel yourself to have enough to do what you need to do. Last one here is believing that everything has to be perfect on the outside before beginning. Okay, probably you've had that before. I've had that a million times. I mean, my office here is not completely perfect, and I still got here. I still were productive. I still got to work. My ability to use Restream here, the streaming software, getting online for you guys, putting the content up here is absolutely not perfect in the way that I imagined it. But I know it's steps on the way, and I need the feedback. I need to try it out. I need to do it before I'll reach the level that I want to be at. But procrastinators, what they do is, oh, I gotta first clean the house, then I gotta clean this, then I gotta have that, I gotta drink this, I gotta do this before I can do that. And it will just never happen. So, what it says here, a champion becomes a champion within his own mind first, and then he does the training needed before he can accomplishes the challenges. This is self-belief, right? You gotta have the mentality and the mindset of who you want to become, what you want to create first, and then you'll take the right action. Then you'll know how to respond to life. Then you'll get in contact with the right persons because you are already that guy who creates it. And the world will start to transform before your eyes when you start practicing this. People will talk to you differently because you are being who you want to be in your mind and taking action. So, hyper-focus goals, how to go from taking your cue from circumstances, right? We got to change that and unconsciously seeing yourself in a way you don't want into being fully productive, effective, and living the dream. How to do that? What goals? Let's look into it. Here are the actions, here are the goals. You got to first decide what your highest priority is. And in the course, what we do is we take from the intention practice, we take one of those intentions that you feel is the highest, and we practice with that one. So decide for that one. Then you got to become your priority. What do I mean by that? Imagine being the one who accomplishes this priority. Okay? Put yourself in the future or be your future self looking back and you say, oh, I accomplished that. I did that. Just imagine that. Feel how that feels, right? and become that person, become that mindset. Uh, the last part here is see only this choice. And you really gotta master your ability to meditate and rest your mind before this is possible. You gotta really master the forgiveness practice that we mentioned in step number 1. You gotta master to be very clear, specific, and define your intention before you can only see that. Because you cannot focus on something if it's not clear what it is you're looking at. And it's in your mind, right? It's not your eyes, it's in your mind. So these are the things, the actions that we need to do. It's learning about 3 phases. Daily focus sessions, right? Building the habit of having a focused session, an hour where you say exactly what it is you want to do, how you want to feel, and then you take action accordingly. Learn to manage your time and energy so that's possible. Because can you do that 1 hour a day? Then the next week, when you start mastering it, you can do it for 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. And suddenly you're living an entire year being exactly who you want to be, manifesting the results that you want to see effortlessly. Because you got this practice, you got this habit, you nailed it. Always learn from others. So, how to decide? So, I'm not going to walk through too much here. We're just closing into an hour. Our attention span, I feel mine is a little bit is closing down. But we got to learn how to decide. And here is, again, an image that you can just, let's have a look at it. So step number 3, right? Phase 1, we just played a little bit with that recently, where the new inspiration, let's zoom in a little bit more. Here we go. Here we go. These are the 3 phases that we learn to master, to handle. First phase is having a new vision. Okay? Learn to master that. Imagineering, being your new creation. Spending time using your imagination, daydreaming, but consciously knowing that's how you bring life to new ideas and new experiences. So being phase number 1 always feels good. New inspiration, joy, happiness, curiosity, bliss, excitement. Those are the key energetic states that you're in alignment with what you want more of, and you're in the right state of being. Then what happens, what we also talked about, the struggle, right? Because, when you stop imagining, what then? Do you have it? Or do you see that you don't have it? How do you stay in alignment? That's phase number 2. You go from, yeah, no. You got to learn to discern the old mindset. You got to learn to discern fears. You got to confront your fears, do what's needed. And you got to say goodbye to your insecurity, be determined, take action. A little bit every day. That's phase number 2, learning to handle that. And phase number 3 is the celebration, right? That's where you have achieved your goal. It's your direct transformation. It's the clarity, it's the faithfulness that has shown itself. And what we learn with mastery of hyperfocus is we go from phase number 1 to phase number 3. And this part here will be less and less and less. You can also see it here. I walk through it here, where you have your idea, your imagination, what you want to do. And then it goes like, oh, maybe it's possible, right? That's a step in the right direction. Maybe that's possible. And then phase number 2 is where it goes, oh, but I can't do that. Because of some past failures, some maybe conditioning that people have told you you're not good enough or that's impossible, right? So I can't. But then something inside us, because we listen, we meditate, we connect with our true heart, our true intention, goes, but I want to anyways, I want to do this anyways. I don't give a fuck about what people say. I don't give a fuck about these thoughts. Those are actually not even my thoughts. I want some completely different thoughts. And so, boom, I want to do it anyways. And then you go into the mindset, I can do this. We're not still taking action. right? We haven't yet taken any approach. This is just mindset building. This is just the hyper focus part. Then when you are in a state of hyper focus, then you take action, and you consistently take action, and you consistently choose thoughts and states of being that will drive that action that is needed to achieve your goal. And phase 3, it's suddenly on that path, you'll see, oh shit, it's happening. It's really happening. Right now, I see, hey, it's really happening. I am actually teaching mind training to my audience. Awesome. It's a great state of being. And then the celebration, gonna have a fasting together event here next week. That is my celebration, doing what I love and bringing joy and happiness to other people. There's a lot of other things here that is explained during the course. We're not going to look into that. Okay. Okay. So, as you can see, not all these slides are done. Again, in step number 3, you got to do the same thing, right? Decision and commitment time. We got to commit ourselves to what it is we want to achieve with a 100% faith, 100% yes. Otherwise, feelings, emotions, hardship, whatever it is that comes along, fears, they will take your energy. It will stop you on your tracks. Okay. So finally, homework, if you want to try this out. The focus session is very simple. It consists of 5 minutes of meditation. Meditate on the breath. Imagineer, use 5 minutes imagining what it is you're going to spend your time on in the next hour or two. Write some notes down, write a little bit down of what it is you imagine, and time box 1 hour of work or more. That's the focus session. Time box means actually you write the action needed to accomplish your goal within that hour in 5 minutes tasks. Then the next thing is to understand phase 2. We talked a little bit about it here. Phase 2 is where we face our fears. We confront our old mindsets and conditioning from other people that we can't do what we really love to do. And number 3 here, never, ever, 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 if you can take anything from this 1 hour here talk, never take a cue from circumstances. You choose your state of being. You are the master of your emotions. You are the master and the alchemist of how you want to feel, what it is you want to generate, what energy you want to put into this world. And yes, sometimes we need to relax, calm down, and just bring that peaceful state of non doing anything, refueling energy. And when we have enough energy to produce that frequency we want, boom, back at it into the world of change, of transformation, bring that energy, make people smile, whatever it is that's your passion, bring it to life. But you got to stop taking a cue from circumstances. If you want to bring a smile, smile to that first person, right? And they don't smile back. That's not going to change my frequency. I'm just happy I brought my smile, I brought my energy, and I'll do the same to the next and the next. The sun doesn't shine any less just because we complain about its rays, right? It shines 100%, just as much as it does on shit, as it does on the queen, as it does on you. It doesn't differentiate. It doesn't change its state because of what it is it shines upon. Okay. Great. Stage 2 about getting organized, how to use your mind more effectively when you can master these 3 skills. That's what we work with here. Let me show you this the 9 steps. You see, we just talked about getting focused, right? The next thing is getting organized. And if you feel like this is a lot, then you're right. This is a lot. This course is going to completely change anything you ever knew about how to use your mind. It's going to completely transform your entire life, how you live it, how you do things, and you're going to enjoy that. And yes, that's a lot. And this entire course here will be something If you're interested in it, if you work on it for a year and you're going to master these abilities, and you'll be in a different place doing so. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me here on the live, or if you're watching it on YouTube or Facebook later on, please leave in the comments below if you have any questions for this. If you have something you want to know more about, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to answer it. And just keep in mind that you are a powerful creator. We are powerful creators, and we actually have a responsibility to what we focus on, how we feel, and make use of it consciously. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching here. Pleasure to be of service. Mind training and productivity. Hope I covered that subject. Hope you liked the presentation. And yeah, take care. See you soon in the next video. Much love. Bye bye.